I'm going to have, okay, got it. I'm going to have Eric give a quick introduction of himself. Please, Eric.
Yeah, hi Dan. My name is Eric Diaz. I'm just here in case anyone needs anything explained or translated into Spanish. Mi nombre es Eric Diaz. Si alguien aquí necesita cualquier cosa explicada o repetida en español, me puede preguntar. Go ahead, Dan.
Muchas gracias, Eric. We are very lucky to have you here. And I also want to let everybody know Eric and I have been in the business forever using gas and electric. He is the only counterpart I know that has used electric as long as I have, and that's rare. We were using electric tools with extension cords back in the day. Okay, so we're going to get started. I'm going to pull up screen share. Okay, let's get this thing. All right. All right. From the beginning, bear with me. Okay, so we already gave the introductions. This is going to be regarding the South Coast Air Quality Management District, eL&G Lawn and Garden commercial program. A little bit about AGZA, American Green Zone Alliance. We officially formed in 2014. We are a leader in low impact grounds maintenance or landscape maintenance strategies. Our mission is to prudently transition the maintenance industry to quieter, more sustainable practices. And this also includes lower emission practices. Applications are commercial, crews, professionals who maintain municipalities, academic institutions, and high volume residential properties. So we're going to start out with a little lightness here. These were the early days that I was speaking of that Eric and I started out in. And this is what we call the pre-lithiolithic era. Please don't laugh, but if you want to, it's okay.
This is no ordinary landscaping day. This is landscaping done the Green Station way. The leaves had fallen, the grass had grown, the need for some cleanup had clearly been shown. Oh, look! Whack, 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 and blow, blow, blow. Onward with the mower, do-si-do. Oh, and there's more? For the earth's sake? Let's not forget a good old-fashioned rake, topped off with a sweep to finalize the green upkeep. All done with the environment in mind, a true landscaping one of a kind.
Okay, so those of you who know me well, that's still my phone number. But obviously, I had spent the majority of my money on the van, the solar panels, the equipment. And at that point, I couldn't afford a decent pair of jeans. But actually, this business model worked. And it was before we had all of this advanced lithium equipment. We're very excited to present what we have here tonight, because now if you're in the industry or you're a city or you're somebody that's going to pass this information along, now the equipment is much different, and it's going to do for the most part what gas can do in most situations, not all, but for the most part, yes. Okay, so back in the day also, before lithium, we were burning through so many nickel cadmium and sealed lead acid batteries. We started to work with some people to bootstrap and make our own lithium backpack batteries. And that's when A123 Systems perfected their iron phosphate modules. We would put different configurations and different series and parallels to achieve those different voltages to interface with the tools that were on the market then. So why is this happening? Well, you know, there's a lot of reasons why. And some of it is the impacts of gas operations. through the lens of a former gas operator, here's the top 10 impacts of gas operations. We're going to start top left, emissions. We know what comes out of the tailpipe. We are not impugning anybody who uses gas equipment at all. But we live in a very air quality challenged area of the country in the South Coast Basin. So definitely programs like these are going to help mitigate smog forming pollution and other emissions that come out of the tailpipe of this equipment. And another primary reason why people want to see this transition is noise levels. These elevated noise levels of this equipment being used in densely populated areas, it just really drives people crazy. There's other things. I know Eric can speak to this. Using gas tools, it produces a lot of vibration right next to noise to the right. When you switch to electric as an operator, definitely you feel less fatigued at the end of the day. And then there's other things associated. Won't go through every single one of them, but that has to do with maintaining small gas engine fleets cradle to grave.
Yeah, Dan, I just quickly say, you mentioned it slightly, but for the most part, the battery counterparts are lighter in weight. So the operator is having to carry around on his or her weight, 5, 10, maybe even more than 10 pounds, around for 6 to 8 hours a day. So that is definitely one of the upsides.
Absolutely. And full disclosure, like Eric just mentioned, there are some backpack battery models, which we will look at. They can tend to be a little bit heavier than their gas counterparts. But the feedback that we've been receiving is they're designed very well. The weight is distributed quite well on the shoulders and the hips. I know because we test these things ourselves, and definitely getting a lot better. And thank you for that, Eric. Well, noise. This is a typical setting for a lot of us who live in Southern California. We're right next to our neighbors. And when gas equipment is operated next to you, across the street, diagonal, left, right, behind you, this noise pressure and or profile, it's low frequency with gas tools, primarily gas leaf blowers. So that means the noise travels long distances and it penetrates barriers. Compared to electric, this is what the noise profile and or pressure looks like with electric, which is higher frequency. So while it can be loud right at the source of operation for the operator, this is why we still suggest adequate hearing protection for operators, even using quieter electric tools. Once you distance yourself from an electric tool that's in operation, that noise is going to drop off significantly and quickly. Just to hit it home, here's an example of low frequency noise from lawn and garden equipment. Okay, here's our gas contenders right here. Woo! All right, we got power trim. Looks like we have, again, it just, Eric, it hits me hard every single time. I can't believe I use gas tools for so many years, and we know that they have a job to do, and there's aesthetic expectations. They need to get their work done. But definitely, we're very happy that there's programs such as, the South Coast AQMD program that is going to help this workforce get into lower impact, more healthier alternatives. So here's an example of how electric will significantly lower the noise. And this is an academic institution up in Antelope Valley. So the grass was a little dry, but we didn't throw a complete softball at it. This was testing, and we let the grass grow for nearly a month. It was quite thick, actually. So as you can see, it's mowing quite well. But then also, as it moves away from you, that noise drops off very fast. Okay, demand for change. There's a lot of bans, restrictions, regulations coming online. Why? Noise, localized air pollution issues, climate change, equity causes. There's a lot of well-organized groups and nonprofits that are really coming after this. Currently, there's over 200 places in the United States that have some form of ban, restriction, and regulation. Right now, we understand in California, we have Assembly Bill, AB 1346. It's basically going to restrict, or not restrict, but ban the sale of a category of SOAR, small off-road engines, starting January 1st, 2024. It's not going to ban the use of the equipment. We feel that this was a well thought out and well organized way to lower the emissions in our state, which are significant all over. It really does allow for people to keep using their equipment, and it's more like a slow phase out, if you will. So luckily for us, a lot of the tools that are under this category of SOAR, as you can see here, we highlighted what is actually in the South Coast AQMD program. You could, with your gas trade-in, get chainsaws, edgers, hedge trimmers, lawnmowers, leaf blowers, riding lawnmowers, string trimmers. And again, this is going to help with the state regulation. We really do frown on taking a pitchforks and torches approach towards the workforce of this industry. We just really want to remind people that things that we're doing together here tonight lend to not taking that approach. And it's more about outreach, retraining the workforce, allowing them resources to get into the cleaner technology for comparable prices that they would be purchasing gas tools at. And again, just to hit it home, please do not demonize the workforce. I am one of these workers. I used to make my living with a gas leaf blower and other tools. And then, as you can see, a long time ago, switched over to electric. So we are going from one technology. This is a Briggs & Stratton 3.5 horsepower engine. So it's an amazing technology, by the way. But compared to electric, it's going to be more inefficient in the way it produces mechanical torque to run the blades, the string, the turbines for the blowers. It requires over its lifetime much more maintenance, and it's more expensive to maintain over its lifetime. Here's your new technology. This is pretty much it. You have a battery management system with a controller. They're going to communicate to tell that motor what to do. And definitely it's more efficient at producing torque and mechanical function. It's more simple in design, and it can be more profitable if the workforce takes care of the tools. So what's great about this program is it does consider that we don't want this asymmetric load just placed on landscapers and the industry. It's definitely higher upfront costs. This program helps with that. Supply chain issues, they're real. Work production losses with certain tools in certain situations. South Coast AQMD incentives for the eL&G program. South Coast, to our knowledge, is the originator. They came up with the original gas for electric program, well over a decade ago. They've continued to lead this charge, expanding into the commercial program, and we really commend South Coast for taking this carrot approach. So it makes it much more symmetrical, and it seems that people are not bitter, and they feel satisfied, like, hey, I'm being asked to do this, but there's resources. We have to say, working with the California Air Resources Board with the CORE program and CalSTART, South Coast was very proactive with AGZA to get around to over 50 cities and really let people know that there were a lot of choices to get into this technology, one of which was the CORE program, and then just starting the eL&G program coming online. So there were choices and definitely team players to let people know about the state program. Okay, so a lot of people ask, does it work? Well, we just have some snippets here. They're very quick, but this is what we call AGZA raw. We just shadow workers in really rough situations. And here's some examples of how this equipment is actually working, and we can verify that. What power level are you, Joe? 2. 2. Okay, great. All right, for the record, Joe's on power level 2. Again, as you can see, this is not finished work. This is not even routine maintenance. This is a pretty rough workload. And you know, at school districts where they have staffing issues, things get overgrown. They're not using glyphosate anymore, Roundup, for weed control. So everything is done with those weed whips. So it just really demonstrates the robustness and the capability of these electric tools compared to their gas counterparts. Here's one out in the field. This is in South Pasadena when we were going around and doing outreach for the city of South Pasadena, putting the various brands on people's backs and letting them try it.
I know, man.
Yeah, he was like, wow, this is powerful. He was pleasantly surprised, trust me. Well, this one is last year in Westchester County, New York in the fall. If you were there and you would understand how wet and damp it was, the electric did a commendable job, yet this specific situation is still not ideal for electric if you're going to have to purchase 3 or 4 of those backpack batteries, which you would in this given situation in the fall in the northeast area. However, what we have found is, before I play this video, and this is actually at South Coast AQMD headquarters, in California, and especially in Southern California, we do get some really damp, wet days and weeks, no doubt about it. It comes in cycles, but for the most part, people are telling us 70% of their blowing workload is dry hardscape.
This gentleman loved this blower. He was using gas and then another company's electric leaf blower, which they were not happy with. But they're trying this Husqvarna backpack blower, and I just haven't seen such a big smile on someone's face in a long time.
Yeah, that was a situation where this company just went to like a big box store and got a few things off the shelf, and it was a struggle. And then when we were finally, given the chance to bring 3 to 4 different platforms and let them try, they were able to find the one that worked best for them, and their work production rate increased significantly, and the owner of the company was quite happy because their profitability in this situation is going to remain even with the gas tools.
Hey, Dan, just cut in real quick. I
Sure.
think that's something really important to kind of, take note on. There's a lot of different manufacturers that are, getting into the, battery business. So it's important that when you go and make, such a large investment in these tools, that you are, pretty sure about which brand or which specific tool you're buying into. Because like Dan said, I've been using it and purchasing this equipment for over 10 years, and I've definitely made a ton of mistakes, whether it's a specific brand or a specific model of a certain tool. Some things just can't get the work done. So it's really important that you do your research, that you get demos from people, when you can, before you go spending a ton of money on this equipment.
That is such a great point, and thank you. And please interject, because we preach that, and Eric is we are just brand neutral and agnostic all the way. We let people try before they buy, and if possible, to Eric's point, and then it's up to them to do their research. And it's very prudent and wise. We let folks know to get peer review, if you will, contact colleagues, and people really should ask, okay, not only is it comfortable, powerful, but how old is your electric equipment? Because even when you're getting it through a program and at a discount, you really want to understand what this equipment, the batteries, are going to be doing in year 3 and year 4, if you're a professional and even institutional operation. And that's because, and I know Eric's heart is in the same place mine is here, we really strive to maximize cradle to grave cycle life potential, so we don't have to use more batteries than necessary.
Yeah, and then I just add lastly,
Sure.
a lot of this equipment, the performance is pretty much equal, maybe slight differences here and there, and really it just comes down to what does the operator feel most comfortable in using, and what are they going to be more likely to be happy with using, especially in the transition phase, that they feel that they can continue to complete their work without being held back by the equipment. So it's really important that the people, the operator, using this equipment, really approve of what tools that they're going to be using, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that are going to be out there doing the work. I can give you my opinion, Dan can give you his opinion on what we feel, what we like, don't like, but at the end of the day, it's up to each individual to say, this is the model, this is the brand that I like and that I want to do my work with.
Absolutely, Eric. And working with us, and as everyone can see, we engage the end users to get that approval from them. And that is just such a great point. Hey, it was raining on this day in Southern California, so it was a really good day to get electric out in the field. Here's just a little sample where they were very skeptical. So it's not going to do what a snapper is going to do. And I know Eric knows what a snapper is, but, you know, they were pretty impressed about how it can mow and then also pick up this leaf material, because this was a school and they like to pick up the leaf material and not mulch it.
Yeah, and then I just add to
go ahead,
that
Eric.
on
Yep.
on push mowers. There's definitely some mowers out there that you can run 6+ hours a day on one battery, and you know they can do the job pretty equally too. Like Dan said, your snapper back in the day or your Honda, you know, nowadays if you're in California and LA specifically, we're pretty loyal to Honda. So battery mowers are pretty much, you know, equal to those mowers at this point.
Absolutely. And again, these are just quick examples of you know, field shadowing, and we're going to go into all of the brands that are available in the program, and we encourage everyone to look at all of them. So some people say, electric, it's not built well. It's, you know, it's not as strong as gas. It's not going to last. This is a mean green model. It's a stand-on. This is in Illinois. This is going on year 3. And this is what this mower is subjected to every day, because they do pretty much exclusively business parks. And they were trained to back up over the curb. And this is the proper way to do it, but it's still day in, day out, up and down curbs, maybe 20 times a day. Now this is a very skilled operator right here. You can see this is a 60-inch riding mower. It's not a 60-inch riding mower. It's a 60-inch stand-on mower. But for the life of me, I can't believe that this guy could do this little strip. I would be using, Eric, I'd be using a 21 or a 36. But anyways, he did it. But that is just a testament that electric equipment is not just performing well, but it's being built well. And this happens to be a USA built brand. Outreach is very important. We're going to keep conducting this outreach and letting people know about all the resources that exist. As you can see on the left, we're stressing they get that 85% off, and with that gas trade-in, if you will. A lot of them, it's like you have to rip the gas one out of their hand. But once you can get them to get it out of their hand and you put an electric one in there that's decent, then they start to open up a little bit. Okay, so does the battery electric equipment really work? We know it does from the little examples we gave, but those were just little examples. We do know it works because we have created a program called AGZA Green Zone Certification. We have some of our original green zones that are over 10 years old, and we've tracked the use and life cycle of electric tools in those green zones and all of our green zones. South Pasadena, of course, they were the first entire city and the first municipal property green zone. back in 2015. And again, I just really want to stress that there was nothing political about this. People did not like the noise. They understood the pollution issues. And we provided the data and did the work and presented the data. And definitely the data was favorable to make this transition from not just Garfield Park, but the entire city, which has been certified since 2016, the entire city. And year after year, they continue to just shine. It was a big deal. And it still is a big deal because this was not easy. It's much easier now, the streamlined process. And luckily we have the likes of South Coast and CARB and others helping. But there was a city council, there was a state senator, there were US representatives because they were just so curious how this was done. And I have to say it was done through a very structured, measured way to for an outcome to endure in perpetuity. Eric's own USC was the first university to be AGZA Green Zone certified. Thank you, Eric. It's such a pleasure to continue to work with you on this. And just most recently, we had Eric there and South Coast AQMD's own Walter. Just last week, we acknowledged Mount San Antonio College as the first AGZA Green Zone community college in the nation. We really want to give a shout out to CARB because they received the Z Roadshow trailer and tested tools. And then they really were like, okay, we like it, but Ruben came to us and said, you know, I can't get my guys to accept it. Can you help us? So we went in there and took them through the Green Zone process, did all the trainings, and then we have the South Coast AQMD kicking in with their program so they can get it within budget. So very successful. And there's just a little picture. It was a very beautiful day that day last week. So we do measure these transitions. It's something called ELF. We developed this metric system with a nonprofit who also helped us with our Green Zone certifications, Quiet Communities. And what we do is we inventory the projects on a granular level, tool by tool. And we're able to present what the footprint is before and then after. And then these impact reductions compound year after year because everyone has to recertify and we have to substantiate these reductions with the certification. It's going on all over the entire country. Here's some states where we do have Green Zone certifications, and a lot of people are very surprised to see Texas and Alabama in there. But again, I think everybody appreciates lower noise, healthier work environments for their workforce and lower emissions. So finally, the punchline, yay, we're here. South Coast Air Quality Management District gas trade-in. Again, they've been doing it for over a decade. Here is a picture of one of their event day trade-ins. You know, maybe it's going to be coming back. You never know, but people would bring in their gas tools the day of the event. They pre-registered and they would pick up their new electric one. And we would fill up sometimes 4 full 40-foot bins worth of gas equipment to go to the scrapper. So at this point, I am going to take a pause and I am going to ask Walter to come back in, and we're going to have Walter explain the program a little bit.
Great, and thanks, Dan, and thanks everyone. First and foremost, you know, AGZA, thanks for having me here, and just it's been just a treat, you know, being in a partnership with AGZA and just being able to, you know, work hand in hand to move forward our objectives with our lawn and garden program, and just to bring forth, you know, the emission reduction savings as well as the health benefits of implementation. So I appreciate that, and also to the attendees, you know, I see that. I just wanted to make sure that, you know, we're still here, that we're still, moving forward, right? I see that there might be some attendees from, the manufacturing community, ARBs here. So I just wanted to give a shout out and just say hello to everyone and to all the attendees, and also to open it up for questions later. I'll be around for Q&A. But yeah, the next several slides, just wanted to just dive right in and say that, we've been implementing lawn and garden, the commercial lawn and garden, since 2017. And it's only 2023 that we've been implementing this new approach where it's voucher-based and still focusing on the same eligible or same entities, which includes, school districts, landscapers, gardeners, public entities. But, wanted to highlight on this slide that it's an 85% discount, as Dan had mentioned earlier. And with regards to the, and I'm sorry, next slide, please. And with regards to the process is, like I was saying, voucher-based. And I wanted to also highlight, to all the attendees who may not be familiar, is that the point of sale is going to be experienced right then and there by the end user, right? So in the way we are collaborating and working in partnership, not only with AGZA, but with the retailers, we're trying to make it where it's streamlined and easier for all participants, but especially the end users, the mom and pops, the gardeners, the school districts, where when they go to the retailer, the point of sale discount will be experienced. That up to 85% discount will be experienced right there at the point of sale. So the third point I wanted to iterate here in this slide is that, for the end user, that prior to picking up that new equipment, the participant retailers will test the old lawn and garden equipment and to make sure that it's operational. And it is their responsibility to drain all the fluid before sending it to a licensed dismantler. And I wanted to emphasize that our commercial lawn and garden program, it is a scrap program. Old equipment has to be scrapped in place of a new piece of equipment that is received. So wanted to highlight that there. And next slide, please, Mr. And with that said, some of the frequently asked questions, of the commercial lawn and garden program, we could cover that later in an open Q&A, but I wanted to reemphasize that the program goals and the eligibility of this program, the program goal in light of AB 1346, in addition to that, has always been for us to improve air quality and for us to move away from harmful gasoline and diesel emissions and to move forward with zero emission technologies. And I'm glad that AGZA was able to, certify Green Zone, all these different, and amazing communities, South Pass, Mount Sac, and that's the direction we want to head. And, we're very excited about that. And again, here with the eligibility, just wanted to emphasize that it's commercial gardeners, landscapers, local government agencies, school districts, colleges, and nonprofit organizations. And with that, I'm going to pass it back to Dan.
Thank you so much, Walter, for that clarity. And we look forward to more questions in the Q&A. And just as Walter had mentioned, we can't thank the retailers enough. They are really team players. They're picking up a lot of the administrative load, taking the gas tools to the scrappers to allow for what Walter described as a more seamless process for the end user that's not frustrating and has a better chance of more people participating in the program. You have B&M Lawn and Garden, Anaheim Lawnmower Shop, Chino Mower, Ace Hardware, Merritt's Ace Hardware, Allen's Equipment. We will be there tomorrow at Allen's, and Laverne Power Equipment. We're going to be doing some promo engagement days with all of the dealers. And then look to your right, all of these manufacturers, just know if they have stuff that's in the program and that people are purchasing for commercial use, you can bet your bottom dollar that they have really invested a lot of money into R&D and really worked hard to get some of these tool lines available for retail for us to use in place of their gas counterparts. So thank you to the participating retailers and manufacturers. Okay, so a typical South Coast AQMD program retailer, what are they going to help you with? They're going to qualify your business or your institution for program eligibility. They're going to help you process your order. They're going to take that gas tool in for trade-in, and they're going to make sure it goes to the licensed scrapper. It's their responsibility. But more importantly, they're going to provide aftermarket customer support and warranty support. Very, very important to have credible dealers that are not just going to make a quick sale and say, all right, see you later. No, they're working with these manufacturers, and they are there to help with these warranty issues should there be any. And then definitely any information on battery recycling, they're going to be able to give the end users all of that information as well. And then, it always comes up, battery cycle life, repurposing and recycling. Definitely AGZA is working the back channels with the manufacturers and some of the larger industry organizations. It's on everyone's radar, and good things are happening. Just right in South Pasadena, Arroyo Seco Golf Course. We converted a greens mower with used Tesla Model 3 cells, and it has been working for 3.5 years. We expect that second life. Now, when it got in the accident, it had 68,000 miles on it, low mileage for that, but those cells were repurposed and made into battery modules to run that golf course mower that cuts the greens every day. So we expect that life cycle to be around 7 more years. So it will have 10 years. After that life cycle, those batteries, we have a third cycle, repurposing cycle for them. And that is going to be backup storage through solar collection. So definitely repurposing. We hope to see more of that. And recycling, definitely getting those batteries retrieved back into the dealerships or to the information that's on the battery. That comes with education and outreach, and we're definitely on the forefront helping with that message. Just again, can't thank everybody enough, and we're going to go ahead and probably open it up for Q&A. On this one, we just ask that you raise your hand and we'll call on you. But before that, I wanted to ask, actually, we do have a raffle prize, but we're going to take Q&A first, and then we'll give away the raffle prize at the end. And thank you, everybody, again, for your time. Okay.
Please don't be shy. Any question is okay.
And even if you're a dealer, a manufacturer, it doesn't matter. And just make sure this is recorded. It will be available. And as dealers or manufacturers or people from cities, please use this as a way to as a resource for your future clients. Okay, I think we're all right there.
Yeah, and in all transparency, Dan, I want to take this opportunity to, I don't know how many retailers are part of the attendee list, but I just wanted to, express in true transparency that our online process had its initial hiccups. Some of the retailers might be talking to one another and may be hearing, some feedbacks that may not be all up to speed. However, I wanted to reassure that those initial hiccups from the beginning of our programs and our initial launch, they've been fixed. Things are being streamlined as much as they can. But of course, there's always room for improvement. But the initial hiccups that were initially experienced has been all remedied. So things are moving on the up and up.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And to keep in mind, we will be, and hopefully everyone is seeing some of the things that we're putting out through social media channels, coming to a dealer near you. If you are strong with a particular dealer, like B&M, they had manufacturing reps come and attend and help out a little bit more. Definitely get in touch with your dealer, because those functions are dealer centric, but it's basically up to the dealer how to make the party as big or as small as they want. So definitely we're going to encourage you to participate in that through your dealerships. All right, Esther, do we have a winner for the AGZA swag bag?
So since we have 6 attendees, I think we afford to give everybody one.
Well, if you are with an institution and you are not allowed to receive it, let us know. But I think that's very generous. And Esther, how do you want to do it? Are you going to encourage everyone to leave their address somewhere so you can send it out?
I left the email at the chat, so everybody can send me the name and the shipping address. We will get out probably next week. Yes.
Okay, thank you for that. And listen, I just saw a question in the Q&A. Jose, are you with us?
Yes.
Okay, Jose. So, okay, you joined a little late. We may have answered this. How soon can we access this program and apply to get these tools? Well, the answer is right away.
Great. Thank you.
Yesterday.
Great. And then anonymous attendee, do we apply on the South Coast AQMD to see if we are eligible? Would that be through the dealers or through you guys, Walter?
Well, a couple of things. We want to be as flexible and as available as we can be. You can always contact me or my staff. But the retailers would also be able to help you with that. Now, what I would recommend is if you could please visit our website. That's a great starting point. It's just www.aqmd.gov/lawn With that, you will see all the information needed to qualify, the list of retailers that are near you that can help you with the process, or you could contact the contact information on there, and we will respond to you with whatever other questions you need.
Awesome. Okay, so before we wrap it up, is there anybody that wants to put their hand up? And is there any more questions?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat the website again? I didn't get it.
Absolutely. It's aqmd.gov/lawn garden. One word, no dashes, no underline. Lawn garden.
Great. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jose.
Spread the word, Jose. Tell everybody about it.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
most
then
definitely. We have a few well, there's a couple contracts we're bidding on that they're going to require the electric equipment. So most definitely, I appreciate it.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and then I was just going to add, for Jose, I have personally used the program many a times for years myself personally, with my C27 license, and also on behalf of UIC. It's really easy to do, simple process. The dealers are always really helpful and really knowledgeable. Good source of information for you. They do this stuff on a daily basis, so they know exactly what works and what doesn't.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I'll definitely be following up. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Well, again, this has been recorded. It's going to be made available on the AGZA website. And then, Walter, it'll be up to you guys to place it there at South Coast if you wanted, but we'll definitely make it available to everyone. It's terrific that Walter and his team are there for all of you guys, and AGZA is as well. Okay, everyone, if we don't speak or see you, we just want to wish everyone happy holidays as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks,
All right.
everybody.
Take
Thank
care,
you,
everyone.
Walter. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Eric. Thank you, Dan.
Bye,
Bye.
Thank
guys.
you all.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.